All right, welcome. So, let's talk about a problem that I'm pretty sure every single one of us has faced. How in the world do you manage your project files without completely losing your mind? Let's dive in.
Now, really, just think about it for a second. It doesn't matter if it's code, a design, or just a simple document. You make a change, you hit save. You make another change, and then what do, right? How do you keep track of it all?
Okay, let's be real. Does this look familiar to anyone? Yeah, I think we've all been there. This is what I like to call version control by hope and prayer. It's chaotic, it's confusing, and it's an absolutely terrible way to work, especially if you're on a team. There has to be a better way. Well, good news, there is.
So you can just forget all those crazy file names. That better way starts with a tool called Git. And the best way to think about it is like an incredibly precise and reliable time machine built just for your projects that runs right on your own computer.
And this is the key thing to Git, right? Git is just a piece of software. It's installed locally, on your machine. Its whole job is to just sit there and watch a project folder and meticulously record every single change you decide to save. It's built for speed, making sure your data is safe, and of course, tracking that history.
And here's where that whole time machine idea really comes to life. With Git, you can take a snapshot of your project at any point in time. Then you can literally rewind to see exactly what the project looked like on July 1st, or you can jump forward to see a change that was made on the 4th. The entire history of your project is right there at your fingertips. It's awesome.
Okay, so Git is amazing for you on your machine. You're a solo master of time. But what happens when you're not working alone? How do you get your perfectly organized history to sync up with the rest of your team?
This is the next huge piece of the puzzle. I mean, sending zip files back and forth is just as chaotic as our final_v2 file names. It's a recipe for disaster. What we need is a central place, right? A shared playbook where everyone can see the project's history and add their own changes safely. And that is where GitHub enters the picture.
This table honestly breaks it down perfectly. This is probably the #1 point of confusion for beginners, but it's actually super simple. Git is the tool on your computer. GitHub is the website on the internet where you store your project and work with others. You can think of it like this. Git is the engine, and GitHub is the car and the racetrack, all rolled into one.
So think of GitHub as basically the online home for your Git projects. It takes that local history from your machine and puts it on the web so your entire team can get to it. It adds all these amazing collaboration tools for things like reviewing each other's changes, talking about new features, and, smashing all that work together without breaking everything.
So now we get the what. Git is local history. GitHub is for the team. So let's pull back the curtain on how this all works. How do you actually get your local changes from your computer up to that shared project on GitHub? It really just boils down to this simple 3-step dance.
This is it, the core loop. First, you tell Git, hey, pay attention to these specific files I changed. That's your Git add. Then you take that snapshot of those changes and save it to your local time machine with a message. That's your Git commit. You're basically saving your game. And finally, you upload those saved snapshots to GitHub for everyone else to see. That's Git push. Add, commit, push. That's the rhythm.
Now, that first step, Git add, the staging area, it can feel a little weird at first, but this analogy just nails it. When you Git add a file, you're just putting it on stage to be included in the next picture. It's not saved yet. The Git commit is the photographer actually clicking the camera, saving that moment forever in your project's photo album. It's history.
All right, so you know the workflow now. Add, commit, push. But how do you, actually do it? How do you talk to Git? Well, you've got two main options: typing commands into a terminal or clicking buttons in a visual app.
On one side, you've got the command line, or CLI. This is the classic hacker-in-the-movies way of doing things. It's super powerful, it's fast, and it's what most pros use. On the other side, you've got your graphical user interfaces, your GUIs, which are just friendly apps with buttons and menus. Way less intimidating for beginners, for sure.
Honestly, this is my favorite analogy for it. The manual car, the command line, gives you ultimate, precise control over everything. But yeah, you gotta learn how to use the clutch. The automatic car, the GUI, handles a lot of that for you. It just goes. It makes the drive a whole lot smoother, especially when you're just starting out. Neither one is wrong. It's all about what you're comfortable with.
And the best part? You have so many options for that automatic transmission. Tools like GitHub Desktop are made for this.
And a lot of code editors like VS Code or IntelliJ have incredible Git tools built right in. They give you a fantastic visual way to use Git, so you can absolutely start with what's comfortable and then grow from there.
At the end of the day, making this switch from that mess of final_v2 files to the clean, structured world of Git and GitHub, well, it's one of the most powerful steps you can take. It's all about moving from chaos to control. So the only real question left is, are you ready to take control of your code's history?